इससे समझाओ।
विन ग्रिप टेक्नोलॉजी कुछ इस तरह सीमेंट को ग्रिप करता है बिल्कुल टाइट।
SRMB TMT चैंपियंस की पसंद।
Hi everyone, it's Norman Kochnick here once again for what is now in fact, we have gone through so many games here. It's amazing. We're now, the Rajasthan Royals play the Kolkata Knight Riders today. It just seems to be an amazing array of very interesting games. This is the 18th match. 18 matches. We are not even a third of the way through yet. It's amazing. There's so many great games to come, and we'll look forward to it. Today I've got two illustrious guests. Tabasha Sen, for the first time, is not wearing a Chelsea hat. He's wearing a World Cup hat. Thank gosh. How are you, Tabasha?
Fine, Norman. Thank you.
And we also have Dinesh Babu from the Rajasthan Royals. No, he's in fact from the Bharat Army, but he is representing the Bharat Army that are basically a force to be reckoned with. They're all over the world. They're an amazing influence on cricket. They have the greatest fan base ever, probably for any country, let alone India. And he's also a Rajasthan Royal supporter too, who are playing today. Dinesh, welcome.
Thank you, Norman. Hope you're doing good.
And we're going to have hopefully Sanapan as well later on when he comes on. But for the moment, we're going to deal with us three here, and we're going to talk all about Rajasthan Royals versus the Kolkata Knight Riders. And there are some topics of conversation certainly around the captaincy, around the Kolkata Knight Riders captaincy, and the fact that there's a few issues around the underperformance of Owen Morgan, both in terms of his captaincy and his batting. But really, having said that, though, we shouldn't discount Rajasthan Royals either. Samson certainly started with a bang with a century, but he's basically dropped off since then as well, and we would argue it's affected his captaincy as well. So both captains under a lot of pressure today, and a very important win for both of them. Probably more so for Rajasthan Royals, but also KKR. KKR could well force their way back into a higher position on the table. Rajasthan Royals has to get themselves off the bottom, which is certainly a problem. But I should mention just up the front, it's Sachin Tendulkar's 48th birthday. So happy birthday, Sachin. We need to have a round of applause for Sachin. He doesn't look a day over 47. No, he looks young. Clearly, at 48, he's still marvelled by his batting. He played very well in the Legends tournament, the Unacademy World Series that we had just recently. It was a very significant effort. He batted very well. Had a great time. So yes, it's Sachin Tendulkar's birthday. It's Owen Morgan's. Well, Owen Morgan's actually would like to have his birthday today, wouldn't he? In terms of the inspiration for his batting and captaincy. And also, I must add though, I just have to. It's an aside. It's not related to this game, but Sri Lanka are 3 for 512 against Bangladesh, with Dimith Karunaratne not out 234, batting fantastically, about to hit 5,000 runs. A very significant mole. Dimith is a good friend of mine, and I'm very proud of him. Good work, Dimith. Fantastic batting yet again against Bangladesh. So back to the Rajasthan Royals Kolkata Knight Riders match. Tabashis, they're playing at Mumbai, so it should be more of a batting paradise, which probably will suit both sides. What's your thoughts on the match?
Yes, Norman. First up, I would like to draw your attention towards captaincy. Obviously, as you mentioned right at the start, that Owen Morgan, there's a lot to expect from him. Obviously, he's the captain of the side. He was brought into the role in midway in this last season instead of Dinesh Karthik. And if you look at his record, his record doesn't speak great about himself. Winning just 3 matches from 11 matches, that takes a lot, because he has won England the World Cup. He is the most successful captain for England, and he has brought a change to England's white ball cricket, if you were to say. But then, having said that, obviously IPL is a different kettle of fish altogether. I think he has struggled as a captain, I would say, firstly with his batting, because I think maybe some sort of pressure, because the pressure of the franchise or the pressure of because when you are captaining your country, you have almost a settled thing. Means everyone, each one very well. But when it comes to a franchisee cricket, there are new players, new conditions. So that takes a lot of challenge. But having said that, obviously he himself needs to fire. If KKR has to come good as a team, I think that inspiration should come from their captain. And Owen Morgan, it is high time because he has only scored 45 runs from his 4 matches, which is way below his potential. He's far better batsman than what he is. The records doesn't speak for that. Those are not true facts because he's a better batsman. But then, having said that, I think there were a few questionable decisions. There were some questionable team selections from KKR. If you are to ask me, obviously, with having said that, he brought in Varun. He did not brought in Varun Chakrabarti in the RCB match when he picked those 2 wickets. He could have easily given him one more over. That was a bit of a no brainer for me. And also the thing is that the KKR needs to have their playing condition combinations sorted, because on this Mumbai wicket you need to have a bowler who has a little bit of pace and bounce. And I think Lockie Ferguson for me should be included in the playing 11 today, not Sunil Narayan, because Sunil Narayan was brought in place of Shakib, but I don't think both of them doesn't deserve a place, because Shakib has been a huge letdown because he has only scored 38 runs and only 2 wickets, doesn't do justice for his potentiality. And also Sunil Narayan, I think he, ever since that change of action and coming under the scanner, he's not looked as bowler we all know. The Sunil Narayan, he used to be winning matches for KKR day in, day out. So I think there are a lot of things that needs to be looked out for as far as KKR is concerned with regard to their playing 11. Obviously, their top order has Shubman Gill has looked a pale shadow, I would say, means from the last season, because we all know what he possesses, what potential he has. And also Nitish Rana, he started the season well but has so far did not fire. But the good thing for KKR is the positive, I would say, is the form of Andre Russell and Pat Cummins, and also Dinesh Karthik to some extent. I think these three big players, I would say this, the KKR, the batting revolves around these 4 players: Dinesh Karthik, Andre Russell, Owen Morgan, and Shubman Gill. So I would say it augurs well that Andre Russell has come good, and also Dinesh Karthik along with Pat Cummins. Norman.
Okay, that's very well summarised, but they didn't win with those batters. Andre Russell, Pat Cummins didn't win the match.
They almost won the match for KKR.
Yeah,
Norman.
yeah, but hang on. Almost won is not won. No one looks at the scorebooks after and go, oh, we almost won 75 matches. Wow. Means nothing. I'm being nasty because what you said was right. They've come of age, but they have no choice because their upper order batsmen have failed. They had no choice. Andre Russell and Pat Cummins had to put their best A game on because no one above them is performing. So I'm not saying that's a good thing at all. In fact, Owen Morgan has not only played badly in this series, he's played badly since I can last remember. He has not played well in the England-India series that went by. It's been a long time between drinks that he's under enormous pressure. His captaincy is one thing, but his batting is certainly another. Yeah, so if they're going to win the match, they need the upper order batsmen to fire and Russell and Cummins to fire. They are in a rather deep situation. If they can't beat Rajasthan Royals, they don't deserve to be considered for the top 4. Simple as that. All right, Dinesh. Now your job now, Dinesh, is to try and convince us that Rajasthan Royals are going to pull out a rabbit out of the hat. Here's Sandeep.
Frankly, yeah.
Have you been playing with your sandpaper, Summer? What are you doing? Where have you been?
Oh, sorry, there was some emergency at home. Yeah, I was struggling.
Oh, everything okay?
Yeah, everything is fine.
Well, we've been talking, Sandeep, we've been talking about, first of all, KKR and their captaincy woes. And the ability to score runs down the order has been proven by Russell and Cummins, but they need the top 4 or 5 batters to fire as well. Otherwise,
absolutely,
the batting of the lower order goes in vain. So the reality is that there's a lot more to come. We're now going to pass over to Dinesh to talk about Rajasthan Royals. He has 5 minutes to convince me that Rajasthan Royals are going to win.
Well, if you
Go.
look at the Rajasthan side, I mean, there are a couple of points that we had been. I mean, Rajasthan Royals had been missing a few key players. I mean, Jofra Archer missing due to an injury and surgery, and Ben Stokes who had suffered an injury while taking the catch of Chris Gale. And to add up that, someone like Liam Livingston has left to his home, stating the fatigue that has been caused by the being in bubble for long. So, I mean, these three players pulling out of IPL, unfortunately, is going to be, I mean, is going to give a suffer of morals for the team. I must certainly agree to that fact because three of your main players, and out of which, I mean, all these three players had been in India for Indo-England series, last concluded Indo-England series, and I mean, Rajasthan Royals missing them would be a huge miss. But having said that, not I mean it's not new in terms of IPL. I mean for these 13 years we have seen number of occasions where a team a team that had dearly missed some player would actually come back stronger. So it doesn't wonder me, or it wouldn't be a huge wonder if Rajasthan Royals managed to come back strong, because you have something. I mean, you have someone in the name of Kumar Sangakkara in your dugout, who has got a huge experience, I mean, a lot of years of experience of guiding the Sri Lankan team to the World Cup finals, and they're being playing a normal, I mean, playing in the Sri Lankan cricket for a quite long time. So when you have someone like Kumar Sangakkara, he can be an impact to the Rajasthan Royals, because right after the tenure of Rahul Dravid as mentor of Rajasthan Royals, we had not seen much of big names in Rajasthan Royals who could have that high morals or high spirits for the team. But right now, if you could see Kumar Sangakkara, he could actually replicate what Ricky Ponting has done for the Delhi Capitals over the last year. Never forget, Delhi Capitals had a very, I mean, not so good start when they had a tenure with Shreyas Iyer being introduced as a captain. But this time around, it could be the same story for Rajasthan Royals. Even after missing their players so dearly, they could even have a stronger bounce back. The only problem is that there are some questions that are not actually addressed. I mean, even at this point of time, till this point of time. So sooner they get the answers, harder they are going to come back. So I'm looking to see a stronger comeback from Rajasthan Royals. They need to fix on who will be their four players and what responsibilities they're up to. Actually, you don't have much of the options of the overseas players. You have only five players, out of which you need to select four. Andrew Tai being the one extra player other than the playing four. So you don't have much of the options, not to think much. You just need to back your players, have a good set of responsibilities set on players, just make players so sure on what they're expected of, and just to get 100% out of them. As simple as that. That's what I see this game as. And Sanju Samson, he had been with Royals for eight long years, right since 2013, if I'm not wrong. He had been groomed by Rahul Dravid over the years, and he had been with Royals for 8 long years. So, being in Rajasthan Royals, he knows well about what the management expects of him. He knows most of the players who are in Rajasthan Royals. So I mean, he may be a new captain, but he's not a new customer when it comes to the Rajasthan Royals. So, having said that, whereas if you look at the other side, the KKR side, Owen Morgan had been pulled only at the year of 2020, and he had been given a captaincy in the mid-season. All of a sudden, out of blue, he had got the captaincy with no idea on what is expected from the management and what his players are up to. Whereas it's not the story of Sanju Samson, where he knows what the team expects of him, what the management expects of him, what kind of players he has, what kind of mix he has, and what he is up to. So he has got a clear idea. So that's where I would like to see Rajasthan Royals bouncing back hard this time.
Okay. Rating out of 10 to convince me Rajasthan Royals are going to win about 6.5. You haven't convinced me. I'm sorry. You've done a good job. You've tried your best. But Rajasthan Royals are going to be missing not only the players that you've mentioned, but the cohesion's not there. Even their fielding is quite substandard. Sangakkara is a very good player, great mentor, great role model. But is he a good coach? I would argue that, well, he's not officially the head coach anyway. He's not actually called the head coach. He's called, I don't know what he's called.
Director of Cricket Operations.
What the hell is that, Debashis? Director of Cricket. Are they building a building or something? Who makes up these stupid Director of Cricket Operations? What the hell's that? What? I'll put what operations? What? Medical or what? I mean, seriously, he's the head coach or he's not the head coach. And if he's not the head coach, well, what is he?
Rajasthan Royals is the only franchise that doesn't have a head coach. Trevor Penning is the assistant coach, if I'm not wrong.
I've got a headache. I've got a headache thinking about it. A team has 11 players on the field, right? Am I wrong? Yes, they're called players. Then you have somebody who coaches them, right? Not somebody who directs the operations. What? Make sure the lighting's in the right spot and the computers are turned on. I mean, did someone forget to put a head coach in place? That says it all. That says it all for Rajasthan Royals. They can't even get the name of their bloody head coach right.
But if you look at the other way around, Norman, I would say too many cooks spoils the food.
You said cook. Did you say cooks or cooks? What did you say, cooks?
Cooks. Obviously, you see all the franchises, the other 7 franchises. There are so many coaches around.
I know it's ridiculous. They're getting paid. The bastards are getting paid money. If you're going to pay them, they'll bring 20 coaches in. I mean, you've hit the nail on the head. You need one person to direct, and that's the way it should be. One coach,
and someone who would earn the respect of all the players.
Absolutely,
like a Ricky Ponting or a Mahela Jayawardene. That's why they are so successful. The franchise.
Sangakkara really is a great player, magnificent orator, magnificent mentor, but he's not a coach. I'll tell you now, he's not the coach type. Mahela is. I'm sorry, I'm seeing a lot of directionless cricket going on here with this team. All right. Sandipan, Sandy or Sand,
yep.
Sandpaper, I'm not sure what I'll call you today. So tell me, what's your thoughts? What is your thoughts on this match?
Well, obviously KKR will go into this game as favorites, but you never know. KKR is one team which is famous for, giving other teams the opportunities. You see some players, they are not scoring runs against other teams, but suddenly they will face the KKR attack and he will just score runs at will. So basically, it used to happen with the Indian bowlers and when Saeed Anwar used to play. Used to happen whenever he used to play against India, he used to score runs. So I'm just kidding. I mean, on a serious note, yes, KKR obviously will go into the game as favorites. They have a better batting lineup. They have a better bowling attack. I mean, Rajasthan is clearly struggling with their bowling attack. The only way I can see Rajasthan win this game or even come close to KKR, I think they need to chase down totals. They have nothing to lose, and they should play. They should play fearless cricket at this point. I think other way around. I think I can't see Rajasthan. I can't see Rajasthan making any further progress, at least in this game. I mean, looking at their bowling attack. So if their only chance is to win the toss, field first, chase down total. But that will also be tough because KKR bowling, I know they are struggling, but I think there is fair bit of potential in this bowling attack, and I think KKR probably will get the much needed 2 points from this game.
It's we mustn't forget though, despite all I agree with you totally. I agree with Dinesh says and Debashis. But the most intriguing thing is, don't forget Rajasthan Royals defeated Delhi Capitals not long ago, did they? No,
absolutely, chasing down totals. While chasing down totals. They were like, they needed 22 of 2 overs against Punjab. I think they lost that game very closely. I think they were a bit complacent towards the final 2 overs. I think they needed around 65 or so in the last 5 overs, and from there they needed 22 of 2. They thought, okay, this is done, and that's why they lost the game. So this game, I think probably they need to chase. I think we'll get to know within 10 minutes because the toss is happening within 10 minutes. We'll get to know.
Yeah.
And Norman, one I would like to add is that obviously strange thing happens in cricket. As you said yesterday, Mumbai losing to Punjab Kings. Obviously, it was a different conditions altogether. The match is being played here at the Wankhede. But then, as Sandeepan rightly mentioned, is that Rajasthan to win, the best option will be to bowl fast and chase a target, because they don't have that bowling like KKR has, because KKR has in the likes of Pat Cummins or a Shibam Mavi or a Nagarakoti or a Prasidh Krishna or a Varun Chakravarti, you name it. They have so many options, and they might even play Lockie Ferguson today in place of Sunil
Yeah.
Narayan. I don't know, because the wicket at Wankhede shoot Lockie Ferguson more than Sunil Narayan. So definitely, so they have a plenty of options as far as their bowling is concerned. But then, having said that, obviously, I think Rajasthan Royals, what is lacking is their top order. Obviously, Manan Vora has been a real struggle at the top. He has hardly scored around something around 40 or even less than
Yeah.
that, if I'm not wrong. So he has totally looked out of touch. And then Sanju Samson, he started the IPL so well, leading from the front, but then he has failed to deliver after that. So I think the Rajasthan would be nice to have someone like Yashasvi Jaiswal in their side. And I think it's high time he should be drafted in, because as you know, if you look back last season, he was brought in by Rajasthan Royals for a whopping 2.4 crore, and that's a hell lot of a money. And there was such a hype surrounding Yashasvi Jaiswal. He was the highest scorer for under 19 World Cup for India.
Yeah.
Then he played only 3 matches, and he was not looked after hence. It's strange. Means he played only 3 matches in last IPL, and ever since that he has hardly been given an opportunity. So it would be nice had if Rajasthan Royals management give Yashasvi Jaiswal an opportunity. But then, having said that, obviously the batting also looked very feeble. If you say, because with the likes of Miller have failing to shine, Subham Dubey, I don't know when he will score that big knock or the match-winning knock. And Rian Parag also, he did show signs of this playing a cameo, but those small cameos won't give you the win. And obviously Rahul Tewatia, what an IPL season he had last time in UAE, but he has so far failed to deliver. So they have a problem of plenty as far as their batting and bowling is concerned. So all they need to do is to have the right combination, and you never know. It's a game of cricket. On that given day, they might do something. KKR might lose with some quick early wickets. You never know.
Yeah, the other thing I would like to mention is that the one thing which probably will go Rajasthan's favor is that KKR batting line, our top order, generally struggles against bowlers who can swing the ball both ways. And Rajasthan have the likes of Jaydev Unadkar and Chetan Sakaria. So, there is a fair bit of vulnerability in the KKR top order. So I think top and middle order, I guess. So I think KKR needs to be very, they will definitely go into this game as favorites, but they needs to be careful. I think they need to play. I think risk-free cricket in the first few overs. Probably they need to see off someone like Sakaria's initial spell, and then I think someone like they can unleash someone like Russell and Pat Cummins, and Morgan is due for a big score also. So yeah, I mean, just one thing Rajasthan will probably that go win Rajasthan for is that KKR's top order is struggles against swing bowling.
And Sandipan, I would like to add, Norman. Sorry, I just want to add one more thing, Sandipan. Is that, do you think that there's a need for Russell to bat higher up the order? Number
Absolutely,
seven, number
absolutely.
seven, Andre Russell. The more balls you give to your best power hitter, the better for you.
Look. The thing is, Russell is not the Russell of 2016-17. These days, he also needs at least 2-3 balls to get his eye in, get a pace of the wicket and all. So he's probably your best power hitter, and his defense is not the worst in the world. So send him at number 4. I mean, give him the time to get his eye in, and we all know if he can play 30-35 balls, then we all know what he is capable of. So definitely, if like I was in the KKR management, I would have definitely slotted him for number 4 at least for this game, because Rajasthan is bowling is struggling, and this is the ideal way for someone like Russell to come back into the grooves. So definitely, I would have sent him at number 4.
Okay, but I would argue that where he's batting in the order is fine. You know why? because it's like he's batting second drop anyway, because so many wickets fall so quickly. He's always
Yeah,
open.
absolutely right. Yes, yes.
I mean,
In
that's
fact,
really.
someone actually once some Chennai fan telling me last time that if Russell batted less number of balls, then Chennai would have won by a bigger margin. So actually, KKR 31 for 5. Actually, that went in favor of KKR because Russell get more balls and KKR had managed to recover some sort of a net run rate from net run rate point of view. So Chennai's fans was very disappointed that why KKR is, our bowlers took those early 5 wickets. So,
Now,
yeah, I
just
mean,
I mean, the English, the new panel or the new shape of English selections these days suits Owen Morgan to the ground because obviously not only does the coach Silverwood have more autonomy with his selections, so does the captains Root and Morgan. So I don't think Morgan's going to be dropped any time soon if he's involved with the selections. It's intriguing. Anyway, Owen Morgan has not performed well for the majority of the year, not just this tournament. He's been out of form for some time, and it's a real concern, I'm sure. If I was Owen Morgan, I'd be concentrating on his batting because his captaincy will flow from his batting. If you're batting well as a captain and you're leading from the front, the team follows. And I think
give him some time. I'm in favor of giving him some time. Yeah. I mean, this is his first season as a full-time captain. Yeah.
When you have captains that are upper order batsmen, whether it's Warner, Morgan, whoever you want to mention, if they're struggling as a team through his captaincy, the best way you can do that is think about nothing else but your batting, take charge, score big, and your captaincy will flow from that.
Absolutely. I completely agree.
Greg Chappell's one that often told me when he got, I think he got 6 or 7 ducks in a row. I think Ian was the captain at that time, but he knew that he had to perform as a batter, not only to be in the side, but to be a future captain, because he knew his brother was overshadowing him. Amazing duel. They had a very good, strong duel between Ian and Greg Chappell. Don't forget, they both captain Australia. Remarkable. But it does come down to, when in doubt, score runs, the captaincy will flow.
Do you think, by the way, that leading a franchisee team can be different from leading a national side or international side? I mean, international side.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, franchisee team can be, the corporate culture can come in, like performance oriented. You perform or perish. That's it. But in the national side, you can groom a player. There is time to groom a captain as well. But probably in franchisee cricket, you don't get that time.
And I would argue,
I totally agree with you, because I also did mention at the start of the show, because means to lead a national team and to lead a franchisee team is a hell lot of a difference, because you get to know your players in the national team more often than the franchisee team, because this franchisee team you have players coming from several places, so you most of the time goes to understand them well. So I think, but then I totally agree with you that Owen Morgan needs to be given a longer rope before we pass on a judgment. Before we pass on a judgment about Owen Morgan's captaincy, true, he is not doing well as a captain. There has been some decisions that is questionable. There are some issues with the playing combinations. Having said that, but we need to give Owen Morgan a longer rope.
Absolutely.
Let him go out and just bat. Let him think about his batting only. Okay. The likes of the replacement that we're looking at, just looking at the name again, of Rassie van der Dusen. Has he arrived?
No. He is having some. He was awaiting his visa. I think he is awaiting his visa. Once the visa issues are sorted, I think he will be a good addition to the squad. But having said that, he has never played in IPL. He did play in the CPL,
and not in subcontinent.
Not in the subcontinent. He had an outstanding series against Pakistan recently. But so I think, but then you cannot substitute someone like Ben Stokes or a Jofra Archer, or to that extent Liam Livingstone. I think those 3 players is a huge loss for Rajasthan Royals.
Oh, look, there's no doubt about that, Bash. It really is the case But this Rusty van der Dusen, he plays spin well. Now, I think if you're good against spin, it won't matter about the wicket. It's the bowling of the spin that counts, because you are a person that adjusts accordingly. And I love in Brisbane they have a set of wickets in their centre of excellence now that are actually shaped to take spin. Have you ever played on one of those pitches? They take spin like you wouldn't believe. It's quite a remarkable form of technology. All right, so we're about to have the toss come through. It's due now, so any minute now we'll see the toss come through. But based on that, Rajasthan Royals,
Sanju Samson, Rajasthan Royals are going to bowl first. Sorry, Rajasthan Royals are going to bowl first.
There you go.
This is the update.
There you go.
Okay.
That is Rajasthan's chance.
Say that again.
Rajasthan Royals are going to bowl first. This is the toss update.
So Rajasthan
There you
Royals
go.
have won the toss and have elected to bowl.
Correct.
Okay. All right. Now, that's probably an advantage for Rajasthan Royals to an extent. That's what they were looking to do. They wanted to chase. Correct?
Absolutely.
Yep.
I think
And
that's
never forget.
But I want to
Sorry.
see their team makeup first. I want to see what they've done with their team makeup, because it's crucial. They've had a fair few blows. Are they going to make radical changes, or are they going to keep the same side? What do you think? Before it goes up, what do you think quickly about Dinesh? What do you think of the actual selections of Rajasthan Royals?
I would definitely like to see some changes. I would not like to see a Shreyas Gopal in the playing 11 who went for many. I would like to have either of Karthik Tyagi or a Jaydev Unadkat in his place, and a Yashasvi Jaiswal instead of a Manan Vora. And if possible, I could actually have a Mahipal Lamror instead of a Shivam Dubey. So those are the changes that I would like to see. I mean, it's likely, unlikely. I'm not sure about it, but I'm not someone who is keen to look forward for Shreyas Gopal yet again, especially in the Mumbai pitch that is going for too many runs. So I would like to have a Jaydev Unadkat or even for Karthik Tyagi in this place, and maybe Yashasvi Jaiswal can snake in.
But you said that Dubey shouldn't play. Did you say?
He had a good last match, but personally, I feel Mahipal Lamro can make a huge impact because he can bowl the left arm off spin as well. So that's the reason why I've opted in to have Mahipal Lamro in Dubey's place, not because I underestimate Shivam Dubey.
And he's a very attacking batsman, and he's a very attacking batsman in the middle order. So I think in Mustaq Ali Trophy he had a strike rate of more than 160. So.
Okay, I'm just going to read what Morgan has said. He has said, we'd like to bowl first, and I think everyone is on the same boat here, or same page, correct. This venue seems to suit our game. We made a few mistakes the other night, but we hope to rectify them. Marvi comes in for Nagarkoti. So Marvi comes in for Nagarkoti. In the case of Samson, he has said, bowling first as it helps bowlers at this venue. He has to appreciate the team members and the management for that. They're coping well, even after losing key players. We still have a positive atmosphere and trust our players to win the matches. So he's trying to provide an upbeat mood. He has made 2 changes. Unadkat comes back for Gopal, and one more, Jaiswal for Voira.
Yes, that's what we discussed.
Yeah, finally. Well.
So Unadkat comes back for Gopal and Jaiswal for Voira. And in the case of Morgan's team, that is his KKR. Marvi comes in for Nagarkoti, who I thought was pretty ordinary the last match. So
I was actually surprised not to see Lockie Ferguson in the KKR team.
Yes.
You know, I think you guys, yesterday, I think it was Gill who talked about Lockie Ferguson and the Barshes. If you're having love affairs with Lockie Ferguson, we can't make him play just because you're having a love affair with him. Okay?
It's not about love. It's not about love affair, Norman. To tell you, it's not about love affair, or we have nothing to gain or lose. Means we just sharing our views. It's that I think Lockie Ferguson, the way he performed in last season in IPL, because Sunil Narine is not the Sunil Narine that we know normally. Because
but then why is if it's that obvious, why is he not?
There is something of a soft corner with KKR management with these 2 West Indian stars, Andrew Russell and Sunil Narine. Means you see, they have been persisted with. Means they have been a certainty. Whenever there's an auction, these two players are always there. They are always retained by the franchisee. Obviously, they have been great servants to KKR over the years. But having said that, and Sunil Narine, ever since he has been called for his action, and he doesn't look the same bowler who used to be. That is what I'm trying to point it out to you.
Okay, but you're going to bring in Lockie Ferguson's brother next week, aren't you? Is that what the plan is?
May 8th on the match of Delhi Capitals, because it's a double header and KKR is playing at 3:30, the first match, the Delhi Capitals and Knight Riders.
Okay, the Rajasthan Royals side, as we said, is Butler, Jaswal's opening, which is good. Samson, captain, a wicket at first drop. They're saying in the batting on the Dave Miller will be batting a second drop. Dubey, Parag, Tawatia, Morris, Unadkat, Sakaraya, and Rahman. So that's pretty much as per program for those changes. In the case of KKR, Rana, of course, and Gill open the batting. Chapathi, Morgan, Kartik, Narain, Russell, Cummins, so no changes there. And also Chakravarti, Marvi comes in, as we said, and Krishna. So their batting order is still pretty solid if they fire. And I really want to see Gill get runs. Let's not even talk about Alan Morgan. If Gill gets runs, he'll allow Morgan to have a better start as well. Perhaps I'm still thinking about Morgan could take the bit between the teeth and go out and open one match. And really let the caution to the wind. And that could well spark his batting. Maybe he needs to see the ball coming onto the bat. Not so much only the ball coming on the bat, but a new ball, a brand new ball. Psychologically,
I think Morgan can in some of the games he can come in at number 3.
Yeah, I think he's batting a little bit too far down, but we'll see. All right, so I'm gonna have to. I'm sorry, I'm struggling with this one. I'm gonna have to pull out my crystal ball. I need help. May I? May I?
Yeah, absolutely,
Yeah,
absolutely.
yes.
Can you see 2 points for KKR? They needed.
I can see 2 points for KKR, and also Sanipan. I can see why he was late. He had a chocolate biscuit that he forgot back in his room, and he had to go back and get it. Is that right? I think there's something.
No. There's some emergency at the family. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So my crystal ball is saying KKR. It's not wavering from that. I'm seeing Gill. Gill's going to perform today. That's my gut feeling, my crystal ball feeling. Gill should get.
It's high time.
You know, Gill should get angry and say, "I'm going to take this game by the scruff of its neck and score."
Yeah, it's high time for him, because look at someone like Devdutt Padikkal is performing, someone like Rituraj is performing, and KKR, the same role is expected from Gill to play. I mean, it's high time that he's Indian Test opener, so I guess it's high time for him to justify his presence in the playing 11.
Look, it's really these two sides have to be desperate with the way they play this. They have to treat this like a playoff. They need to kickstart. You've got to give some credit to Punjab Kings yesterday. They took that game and really went for it, didn't they? They really took the game by the scruff of its neck and really shook it, and they won. These two teams, the side that wins will be the one that has the more of a hunger. I think that because if they don't prove themselves this game, they're going to languish at the bottom of the table pretty clearly. All right, so I see KKR, my crystal ball. Sanipa?
KKR, of course, KKR. But it won't be an easy cake. It won't be a cakewalk for them. That I can see in my crystal ball.
Well, yesterday we had, I think it was Sumitra say, 70-30. And I got angry with him. I said, what's 70-30? You win or you lose. You don't win 70-30. So Sumitra got a very big scolding from me. So Tobias, just don't say 70-30. What are you going to say?
KKR all the way. KKR all the way, and obviously they need a good start. And if they can score somewhere in the region of 200 to 220, they will do a good job. But then I would say KKR will have a cakewalk, just like Sandeepan. All they need to do is to put up a good total.
No, I said it won't be a cakewalk for KKR.
But if they
need
score
to play.
220, I think that then it would be a cakewalk. 200
Yeah,
to
then it would
220.
be a cakewalk. But someone like it can be a day for someone like David Miller, or someone like Josh Butler is due. So but
Yes.
still, I think gut feeling says it's KKR.
Okay, explain to me what a cakewalk is. I know what it is, but what does it mean? You walk on cakes or what? What is it?
Punjab had a cakewalk last night.
They did. Fluffy one. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, but yeah, I'm still not happy. I look at the teams that may change. I'm not happy with either side, to be really honest with you. Something's on the nose. I mean, okay, they're Russell and Cummins did very well. You can't rely on them every game. You can't rely on the lower order batters to save you from 5 down for nothing. That's not the way you should arrange a team. I'm still worried about that. See, with Shubman and Gill, I'm hanging my hat on him today. I really am. For Owen Morgan to have a good performance, Gill has to have a good performance. Don't you agree?
Absolutely. And I have a question to Dinesh. Do you think that Rajasthan attack, it looks pretty one-dimensional with three left-arm fast bowlers in their side? They could have easily, I don't know if Karthik Tyagi is injured or not, but then they could have easily played someone like Karthik Tyagi who was with the Indian team in Australia. So he had the
Correct.
potential, he did well, and then it sometimes it looks strange because you need to give the youngsters a longer rope so as to judge. Look at Prithvi Shaw. He has been given the longer rope and he is delivering. So sometimes these are all strange selections. See, Ravi Bishnoi, he was given an opportunity yesterday, and what a performance he put up for Punjab Kings.
Absolutely.
So I
Absolutely.
think Karthik Tyagi, it looks like a one-dimensional attack. Three left-arm fast bowlers in that side with Sakaria, Mustafizur, and Unadkat.
I don't. I mean,
Okay.
if you've
So
got three good left arm bowlers, I don't care they're not bowling right arm because if they're good bowlers, they'll take wickets. So I don't know whether it's so damaging. If you've got three of your best bowlers in your team is a left-handed, so be it. I'm not so hung up on that. Look,
Well, to answer that question, Devasis, the first match there were some there were some attempts of trials made where Chetan Sakaria, Jaydev Unadkat were tried, and fortunately or unfortunately, Chetan Sakaria had come up in a good touch, and he had become someone who is actually inevitable part of the team that you cannot drop him off. So the only way you can bring a right armour like a Shreyas Gopal, even if you want to bring him in, or a Karthik Tyagi, is to drop Jaydev Unadkat, who had got a 3 for 15 in his match against Delhi Capitals. So the selection and the combination has become a big problem for Rajasthan Royals as well, where they're left out with no options than to drop Jaydev Unadkat, who has got a 3 for 15, just to bring someone like Shreyas Gopal, who later they found that it is of no use. So what I feel is they're actually struggling with their combination. These are not so far that we can see a Karthik Tyagi, but we just need to look out on whom to drop to bring in Karthik Tyagi. I'm a big fan of Karthik Tyagi because he has got a brilliant seam presentation up ahead. He can be a Deepak Chahar of CSK. He can be a Bhuvneshwar Kumar
Yeah.
of an SRH. I mean, these people are those bowlers who are actually having brilliant seam presentation. Whereas RR at this point of time are hugely reliant on Mustafizur or Chetan Sakaria or Jaydev Unadkat, who are actually known for their cutters. They're not known for their seam presentation. So these are not so far where we can see Karthik Tyagi. I mean, in someone's place, I'm not sure who it would be, but probably it would not be a Chetan Sakaria. But if Jaydev Unadkat goes for runs and if they feel Karthik Tyagi has to be in, then you could see that replacement in the days to come for sure.
No,
okay.
today against KKR, against the KKR batting lineup, I think Jaydev is a good selection because again I have said that KKR batsmen struggle against good swing bowlers up front. So again there can be a chance of KKR being 20 for 2, and then again we might see the same thing happening.
What is also interesting about both of these sides, they're obviously placed second last, is their net run rates. They're
Yep.
minus 1.011 for RR and minus 0.7 for KKR. That's particularly poor. They're both.
That's horrendous.
That's also to be conscious of. There's a net run rates in these games as well. They can't just hope to get through by winning a few. The net run rates have to improve by what they've got there. So I'm seeing KKR, but I'm seeing these two being on the bottom of the table unless something dramatic happens. Really, it's. I mean, Punjab Kings at this point have taken themselves off the bottom of the ladder, but they could return as well. But yeah, I'm not seeing a very high-powered game here. Maybe a desperate game, desperate to win, desperate to search for form, but the actual quality won't be there. I'm sorry to say.
I mean, it's this has been a strange season, because we don't see this kind of thing happening in IPL when there is a clear difference between the first top four teams and the bottom four teams. Even if you can recall last year IPL and the previous editions, even we had to wait till the last game of the league stage to to finalize the top teams which are qualifying for the playoffs. But this time, I think there has been a clear difference between the two top four and bottom four. So it has been a strange. That is quite actually surprising by IPL standards.
No, that's because I would like. I would like to put up a fact to that. So, I mean, post-COVID has been so challenging that most of the players have been traveling to their home. They have pulled off the IPL, say Josh Hazelwood or Liam Livingston. So this has become a contributing factor as well, I feel, because a team that has been so much desperate to win, like Rajasthan Royals, losing someone like Liam Livingston, and the CSK team that had been ranked number 7 in the last season, and Josh Hazelwood pulling off. So you could have that factor as well, which contributes to the difference that you see in this season overall comparing to the other seasons. So that might be the factor. The post-COVID, the COVID has actually got an influence to this point as well. So that's how I see here.
Yeah, but COVID-related, we have seen COVID-related replacement, COVID-related issues happening with the other teams as well. But I think their backup players have stood up. The same thing is not happening for the bottom four teams at this point.
How much centre wicket practice do they get to practice on before a match? I'm talking about if they're playing in Chennai, how much time do they get to have centre wicket practice? Do you guys know? Sebastian?
Hardly 1 day, if I'm not wrong, because most of the teams are because the problem with this season is that like suppose matches have been played in Chennai and Bombay, if I'm not wrong, then so the 3 or 4 teams they normally travel to that particular state and they stay on. So for the first day it is a traveling day, so I don't think they would be getting much of an opportunity to practice on that center square. But then for their remaining matches in that same venue, they might get an opportunity to practice.
That's crucial. That is absolutely crucial because it gives you his best look at the conditions firsthand. So,
but then does it really matter in a T20 tournament, in a T20 match?
Of course it does. Practice is practice.
Yeah, of course it does. Of course it does, unless you are A.B. de Villiers.
Or Norman Kochnek. I never practiced. So my form didn't get better or worse because I didn't practice. I went and had a coffee. Why do you need to go and practice for? Just go out and bat. Jesus.
That's simple. That's more like it. Just go out and bang.
And look, when you're out, and look, this is what annoys me about nets practice. You're out in the middle you don't have nets around you, you have nothing. So how is that simulating batting when you've got nets over you? You hit the ball bounces off the net, almost hits you back in the face. Is that real? No. Get rid of these nets. Open up the indoor net. Yeah.
I would like to remind something. Being it's Sachin Tendulkar's birthday, I read somewhere that Sachin Tendulkar has never batted on nets during the 2003 World Cup. So that is where he actually led the table. He was the leading run scorer of 2003 World Cup. And today, being his birthday, there wouldn't be any better day than to recall this fact. Sachin Tendulkar had never batted, as far as I've read, he had never batted in the nets for the 2003 World Cup season alone. When asked about that, he told that he just wanted to continue from where he left in the last match and not in the nets. So
I would like to add for the 2011 World Cup, he used to always take throwdowns. He used to always take. He had someone called Raghubendra, who we all know as Raghu. He was meant to just give throwdowns to the little master, to the master blaster. Sorry. So I think
Hang on. Viv Richards is the master blaster.
Sachin Tendulkar, Norman. Sachin Tendulkar is a master blaster.
What's Viv then?
Sandeepan, am I right?
No.
Well,
Viv Richards was called the master blaster.
Sachin Tendulkar for Indians. Little master was Sunil Gavaskar. Sachin Tendulkar was master blaster.
Well, what's Viv then?
Maybe we have to ask Viv.
sometimes we need to agree to disagree, I guess.
So yeah, adding up to that, not everyone can be a Sachin Tendulkar. So that's the summary. Not everyone can
Because
be a Sachin Tendulkar.
Sachin
He had
did not
managed
bat
to
it
do
in the
that.
nets. Sachin did not bat it in the nets because he was batting in his hotel room during the entire night. We have read that.
Yeah.
How many times I've got to say you don't have nets in the middle of the field when you play? So why have them? Get inside a building that has no nets and bowl to him. That's what I would do.
I mean, it depends. It depends. Practice, the methods of practice, it depends on player to players. Because you see these days, we see in the modern day players, they are so much. They spend so much energy on gyms and all. Look at MS Dhoni. He's not a gym guy anyway. He plays different sports. He plays badminton. He plays football. So basically, it's up to the athlete individual that how he can you can keep up his fitness, and he can keep himself ready for the game.
Some of the best training manuals and practice manuals I read were the Arjuna Ranatunga practice manual. It wasn't very thick. It was very thin. And Insamal Malhaq manual was even thinner.
Yeah.
They were the best books to read for me. I read them from cover to cover because there was only a cover. That's all.
The feeling of match is a different, unless I am sure I am sure Leverok did not take any catch. I mean, you can remember the Bermuda guy Leverok, Dwayne Leverok, who took that catch in the 2007 World Cup.
Exactly.
I'm sure he hadn't taken any kind of a catch in the practice session or anything. The match feeling is different.
And Cornwall, he takes up 4 slips. You see, when Cornwall takes a slip catch, it's caught first, second, third, and fourth slip all at once.
Yeah.
He's so wide. Actually, it's a good question. When Cornwall's at first slip, is he at first, second, or third, or all of them? It's hard to tell because he's so wide.
Yeah.
All right. Tobias, do you agree with me?
When you are saying you have to agree.
Yeah.
Exactly. All right. We've got 7 minutes before the game starts. In fact, it's more like 6 minutes. So I'd have to argue that we've had the selections already. Dinesh, you're going for Rajasthan Royals. I don't even have to ask you.
Sanju Samson, because he has to lead from the front. He has to put up a strong message for the team. So Sanju Samson all the way.
Good point. Tobias is going for KKR. Sanapan's going for KKR as well.
Yep.
Is that a no or is it yes? Yeah. Is that a no or yes?
Yes, absolutely KKR.
But you went
Absolutely
like this.
KKR.
I asked you, are you going for KKR, and you've gone like this. Since when?
I said yes, Norman. Come on. I said yes.
You don't go yes.
Oh, no.
It's the other way around. Oh, my gosh. Luckily, you weren't on mute. If you're on mute, that was a no.
Your voice is
no, he might have given the gesture undoubtedly yes, so something like that. So undoubtedly, so the shake of the head might have mentioned.
Sandeep, you do not go.
Why are you even talking about this? This is KKR, obviously KKR. But again, I said
okay, KKR.
Yeah.
Rajasthan Royals, KKR. Okay, KKR.
Okay.
I had a Spanish girl say KKR.
Morgan and Gill getting some runs. Do you predict?
Wait.
Okay. Ask your crystal ball.
No.
Who will be the performers for KKR then? Who will be the performers
Gill,
for KKR?
Gill, Gill.
Oh, that's what I'm saying. Come on,
That's
I
what
said
he
Morgan
asked.
and Gill.
Morgan and
Oh
Gill.
no.
He asked.
Gill's
Come on,
77.
Norman. I know. It's too late in Australia right now. I know that. I know it's quite late.
Yes, Sunny Pun. Yes.
So we understand it to be undoubtedly yes.
No. Would you get that right? Jeez.
Absolutely.
Yes. Okay. All right. I think we need to go before we make any more blunders here. Okay. You agree? Yes. All right. We're going now. We're going to watch this game. We're going to come back later with the answers. And my crystal ball won't lie. So, guys, thank you. It's been great. Really enjoyed this. Fantastic.
Thank you.
Sandipan, Debashis. This is Norman Kostek saying goodbye from Sydney, Australia for extra time. All right. Thank you, guys.